What's up, budget builders? My name is Trail, and today we have some major news to share with you regarding COVID-19 as well as vaccine mandates. We also have a response from President Biden in regards to the bipartisan infrastructure bill being passed late on Friday night. He called it Infrastructure Week. Now, in addition to that, we have some updates regarding the president wanting to send out that $450,000 to illegal immigrants that were separated from their families. Earlier last week, he said that he never stated that he wants to send that type of money. But today, we have a different amount of money being proposed. And lastly, guys, hey, could this signing of the bipartisan bill into legislation be the catalyst to get Senator Joe Manchin on board with the massive social spending package? Well, we really don't know just yet, but one top senator in Congress believes he has the answers. I'm going to tell you all about it today. But before we get started, hey, if this is your first time to the channel, hey, we welcome you and glad to have you. Now, if you're interested in these topics today, be so kind and go ahead and hit the like button for us. It really helps out this video as well as this channel. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It's totally free. Now, let's get right back into this video, okay? Back in early October, President Biden announced that he was implementing a vaccine mandate for all businesses with more than 100 employees. This is supposed to go into effect by January the 4th, or else businesses could start receiving fines from the Biden administration. This has caused multiple state governors to issue lawsuits against President Biden and the Biden administration over his mask mandates. But on this past Saturday, an appeals court placed the vaccine mandate on temporary hold. The appeals court ruled on Saturday to temporarily halt President Biden's coronavirus vaccine mandate for businesses with 100 employees or more. The ruling came from the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit after Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton filed a challenge to the mandate requiring employers with over 100 or more employees to get vaccinated or undergo frequent testing directly with the courts. Now, this challenge included the states of Louisiana, Mississippi, Utah, and South Carolina. The Biden administration announced that it would issue the law through the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, or better known as OSHA, back in September. Companies who met with the criteria are required to get their employees fully vaccinated by January the 4th, or workers must test negative for the virus once per week. Now, Paxton argued in the announcement of Texas' challenge that the mandate goes outside of OSHA's limited power and specific responsibilities, and it's flatly unconstitutional. The appeals court ruled there are grave statutory and constitutional with the OSHA rule. Now, Paxton took to Twitter account on Saturday to celebrate the ruling by the courts. And he said that we have won. Just this morning, citing grave statutory and constitutional issues, the Fifth Circuit stated the mandate. The fight is not over, and I will never stop resisting this administration's unconstitutional overreach, he added. So yeah, guys, right now they're pausing the vaccine mandate that President Biden put out to all employees with over 100 employees. Now, recently I mentioned that there was a rumor out that President Biden wants to give $450,000 to illegal immigrants, that their children were separated from their parents. Well, President Biden denied those claims on November the 3rd, saying he really didn't know what was actually going on in the court cases related to that particular matter. Well, this past Saturday, the subject came back up again, and this time, Biden's response might actually shock some of you. President Biden stated that migrant families that were separated under the Trump administration deserve compensation. President Biden said on Saturday that he's forcefully supported the idea to compensate migrant families separated under the Trump administration's zero-tolerance immigration policy. He said, now here's the deal. If in fact, because of the outrageous behavior of the last administration, you coming across the border, whether it was legal or illegal, and you lost your children, waging a finger and raising his voice, you lost your child, is gone. You deserve some kind of compensation, no matter what the circumstances are. What that will be, I have no idea. Now, Biden's impassioned comments came during a press conference on the passage of the $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill. He was questioned about his remarks earlier in the week when he was asked about the reports that the administration was preparing to pay separated families up to $450,000 per individual. Now, the president on Saturday said that he was specifically referring to the dollar amount that had been reported, not the concept of compensating separated families entirely. The payments would come as part of settlements with separated families suing the government over treatment during the Trump's administration. Now, under the zero tolerance policy, thousands of children were separated from their parents and placed in shelters while the adults were prosecuted. But on Thursday, the White House said that the government would be willing to settle out of court with those particular families. So yeah, guys, he is saying that he is definitely opposed to paying them $450,000. However, he is not opposed to providing some form or some type of compensation. Now, that particular amount has not been justified as of yet. Now, let's go ahead and get into some stimulus update news. The Democrats were finally able to pass the $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill that was passed by the Senate back in August. And late on Friday night, after 87 days of sitting dormant, the House of Representatives finally brought the bill to the floor for a vote. And that bill was passed with 228 to 206 votes in favor of it. Now, President Biden gave his remarks about the passing of this bill on Saturday. It says that this was a monumental step forward. But let's briefly hear exactly what President Biden had to say.
Forward as a nation. We learned that our economy created 5.6 million jobs since we took office in January 20th, reached an unemployment rate of 4.6%, 2 full years earlier than the vast majority of economists projected that would happen. And we're just getting started. We did something that's long overdue, that long has been talked about in Washington, but never actually been done. The House of Representatives passed an Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. That's a fancy way of saying a bipartisan infrastructure bill, a once-in-a-generation investment that's going to create millions of jobs, modernize our infrastructure, our roads, our bridges, our broadband, a whole range of things, to turn the climate crisis into an opportunity. And it puts us on a path to win the economic competition of the 21st century that we face with China and other large countries and the rest of the world. It's going to create more jobs, good-paying jobs, union jobs that can't be outsourced, and they're going to transform our transportation system with the most significant investments in passenger rail, the most significant investment in 50 years, in roads and bridges, the most significant investment in 70 years, and more investment in public transit than we've ever made, period.
Well, it appears that he is very happy on this major news of passing the bipartisan infrastructure bill, and pretty much just a political victory that Biden can add to his list of accomplishments while he is in the White House. Now, one thing I did not know is that the government has been trying to pass a physical infrastructure bill for years now, and Biden was able to accomplish it. Now, after the passage of that bipartisan bill on Friday night, President Biden is hoping to rebound from a challenging few months that he saw the American public turn negative on his presidency by building momentum on the House's passage of Friday's bipartisan infrastructure bill. Now, the White House and its allies see the pathway to a political recovery through the passing of his sweeping domestic policy agenda and helping the country turn a corner on the pandemic that has exhausted and ravaged the nation entirely. Now, part one came in Friday's vote when the House passed the long-standing bipartisan infrastructure bill, paving the way for billions of dollars to be spent on projects around the country. Now, Democrats say that the political rebound depends on more than just passing bills. They argue that it is crucial for Biden and his allies to better communicate to the public how the measures help the middle-class people as well as the entire country. Now, quickly and effectively implementing the measures will be key as well. Democrats say that in addition to addressing voters' concerns about inflation and other frustrations, there is a lesson from the 2010 midterm elections. Democrats were in the majority and passed the TARP plan and major stimulus bill, the Affordable Care Act, and a blizzard of other stimulus bills. The problem was that people didn't see and feel the results until after the midterm elections. Biden revealed in the victory on Saturday, making it clear that he saw an opportunity to turn his fortunes around following a week that began badly with the Democrats losing a contest in Virginia and just winning the state's mansion in New Jersey. He started his conference out with the words of, "Finally, Infrastructure Week," taking a victory lap of sorts while nodding to the Trump administration and how they were never able to pass any legislation to rebuild roads and bridges. I am so happy to say that, guys. Now, during his remarks from the state dining room, the president made it clear that he believes passage of the infrastructure bill was a critical moment to turning the tide electorally. He said that they want us to deliver. They want us to deliver. Democrats want us to deliver. Now, last night we proved we can deliver, he said in a response to the question from a reporter. I think the one message that came across was get something done. It's time to get something done. Stop talking. And that's exactly what they did. They finally passed this $1.2 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill. So yeah, guys, like I said, the U.S. has been trying to pass legislation on a bill for infrastructure spending for years now. So let's see how the United States compares to other countries and their spending on infrastructure. Now, I did find this article on how the United States compares to other countries around the world as far as the spending on infrastructure, as far as building up their country. And according to this article, here are the rankings from all of these countries and where they stand in regards to their spending on infrastructure. And we can see that number one is Singapore. And then number two is the Netherlands. And if we continue to scroll down and look for the United States, we sit somewhere 13th on this list, right behind the United Kingdom and the United Arab Emirates. So yeah, guys, we are far down the line when it comes to spending on infrastructure in our country. Now we can see that the group estimated that there is an infrastructure investment gap of nearly $2.6 trillion this particular decade. If unaddressed, could cost the United States $10 trillion in lost GDP by the year of 2039. Now we can see right here that it is projected to spend about $3.42 trillion on rebuilding our roads, $3.15 on electricity, $0.64 on airports, $0.6 on telecommunications, and then we have railroads, water, as well as ports. But then if we flip to something else, we can actually compare how the U.S. compares to other countries when it comes to spending on our defense or our military. And right here, guys, this is going to be shocking to you. But you can see that right here in the red, this is the United States. And right here to the left, this is all other countries. And we can see that all of the countries put together, they are spending about $761 billion. But the United States is spending about $778 billion on their defense programs. And this is more than 11 other countries combined. So yeah, guys, as we can see, we spend majority of our money on our military, trying to be the strongest military in the world. And that's because we like to go and bully other countries, right? But no, guys, just kidding, just kidding. But yes, we spend a ton of money on our military. But when it comes to our infrastructure spending, as far as building up our roads and making sure there's no lead in our pipes so that people can have clean water around this country, and making sure that all states and rural areas are able to receive broadband internet, yeah, we are not spending that much money at all. But I just thought that I would point that out to you guys just so that you know. Now, I did receive a bunch of questions from you guys on whether the larger package is going to pass now that the bipartisan bill has passed. And also some of you who are asking me that if Joe Manchin was going to get on board and support this bill or this reconciliation bill. Senate Majority Whip Dick Durbin of Illinois told Yahoo News, I don't know whether Joe Manchin will provide the crucial 50th vote for the Build Back Better plan. He said, I don't know the answer to that, guys. Hey, the second ranking Democrat in the Senate said when he was asked if the Senate would muster the votes to pass the hotly contested legislation. He said, first we have to get it through the parliamentarian's office and through 50 Democratic senators. And then he said the parliamentarian is the person who would rule on whether all the provisions of this bill are appropriate to be passed within the budget reconciliation process, which allows a simple majority to pass legislation without the threat of a filibuster from the minority group, which is the Republicans. Now, Senator Durbin said that I think what we need is that we need to pass the reconciliation bill, which is the Build Back Better plan. He said that he thought the House of Representatives vote late on Friday night to pass the infrastructure investment bill as one key component of Biden's domestic agenda, despite the opposition of some progressives who fear the bipartisan bill's climate change impact would be very beneficial. He said it does substantially more in different areas, complements the infrastructure law very well. Now, when asked by reporters, Durbin responded and said, hey, look here, guys. Hey, the bottom line is that with an evenly divided Senate, every Democrat must be appeased. When you're that close, 50-50, every vote counts, every senator counts, he said. Well, there you have it, guys. Hey, the second highest Democrat in the Senate doesn't know himself whether Manchin would eventually support this bill or not. The Democrats have tried to appeal to the likings and the demands from Senator Joe Manchin, as well as Senator Christine Sinema, over the past few months. All from lowering the original stimulus bill from $6 trillion down to $3.5 trillion, and now they have lowered it again to just $1.75 trillion, which they still don't have the support from Manchin as he continues to push back on things like family paid leave and parts of the Medicare expansion program. But maybe this week, guys, Manchin will have a change of heart and decide to stand behind his fellow colleagues and the Democratic Party and support this bill and to create that 50th vote to seal the deal of the reconciliation stimulus bill. But anyways, guys, hey, that's all I have for you today. Now, if you enjoyed this type of content and you want to see more, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It's totally free. And if you like this video, then go ahead and hit the like button for us. It really helps out this video, as well as it tells YouTube to share this video with others. But anyways, guys, hey, I appreciate you guys stopping by and watching, and I hope to see you on the next video. Peace.